let's get that out of there. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream this evening. And first of all, I want to say, Liza, you're so funny. Dancing during the opening. Welcome, Liza. Welcome, Natalie. Welcome, Sudike. As you can see, things here look a little bit different. I've done some work on my OBS encoder and tried to change some things, and today I am restreaming from here on YouTube to Twitch on the other side, trying to do it right from my computer, and I'm not exactly sure I've got it set up right, but gonna give it a try and see how that goes. Today, obviously, we're painting a penguin, or penguins. Over there, there's mine. Let's see if I can do this. There it is, a little bit larger, and that's what I'm going to be trying to do today. Where am I coming back to this? Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in, and everybody feel free to ask some questions of me as I do this. Oh, I should say the paper that I'm using. Let me start with that. Now, I believe this is Fabriano paper. I know that because I got the watermark here. It's Fabriano Artistico watercolor paper. I'm going to start with my golden maple brush, and over here on the side are my M-gram paints. And with that, I'm going to jump right in, and I want to start with, oh, you can't even see. I want to start with some of this warmer yellow, colder yellow, maybe even a little bit into the ochres, a little bit of the color on this penguin right up in this area. The nice thing about this is, if I go out of the lines a little bit, because it's going to have black on top of it, it's not going to matter all that much. But I want to start getting a little bit of color on here. Natalie says baby penguins are adorable, and they are completely adorable. That's why I wanted to add that. Where's he at? Whoop, that's why I wanted to add that little guy into here, because he's so cute. But yes, penguins, especially baby penguins, are completely adorable. And not that this is necessarily adorable, but this kind of has to do with babies. I want to say that at my workplace, I used to put on a YouTube live stream and watch, like, the Cornell Labs birds quite a lot. I would watch birds at bird feeders quite a lot. And I moved offices and didn't have the TV that would allow for that. And recently on my team, we started hooking up a different TV. My new team started hooking up a new TV, and I started putting on these streams of birds again, because birds are pretty cool. And I started watching a stream of an eagle in Big Bear, California, up at Big Bear Lake. And, you know, it's an eagle, you know, this giant bald eagle in this giant nest. And last week, I'm going to call her she because she's sitting on a nest. She was there all by herself. Not really any snow or anything like that. Well, we got rain here in my part of California, or down there anyways, over the weekend. So I came back this week, and there was about 4 inches of snow inside her nest, and 3 eggs. 3 eggs in there. And she would get up and fly away for a little bit, and then fly back and sit back down. And every time she would get up and fly away, I'm like, no, don't leave. Your eggs are going to get too cold. Oh, yay. Liza says, Michael, have you used the Fabriano Artistico in the past? I'm assuming you mean past. It says last. And do you like it? I've used it. I have a very small supply of it in this size. It's fine. The thing that I will mention about the Fabriano paper is it's much softer than the Arches paper. I'm trying to think who's the other paper that I've used a lot. It's much softer than the Arches paper. When you feel it, it feels like the edges are rounded over. Excuse me. It feels like the nooks and crannies don't have as many sharp points on them. Other than that, the paper, by and large, I have found to be very similar. The characteristics of the paper, I think, have been very similar. So not too much different there. But the feel of the paper in your fingers and on the brush, much, much different. Okay. I'm looking at my reference. Oh, gosh. Wow, I'm used to having a reference over here. I'm looking at this reference photo, and I'm looking along, I guess, the neck or back up here and down along the wing. Let me bring that up so you can see what I'm talking about. There you go. You might be able to see that. And it looks like there's some blue or some purple in there along with that black. I don't want that black to be just black. It looks like there's some slightly different colors mixed in, so I want to try and mix those in a little bit. Let me see if I can get back to the right one. All of my scenes, I use OBS to broadcast this with. All my scenes now are all different. The order that they're in are all different. I know it's all my own doing. I understand that. I'm hoping that in the end, this is going to be a little better and a little easier to use and allow me to stream in multiple places, but they're all a little bit different. And so it's going to take me a minute to get used to it. Let's see. I had a friend who watched eagles nest in the Midwest somewhere. They always had snow on them. Oh, she became very invested. I don't know how they do it with snow on them. It just seems like it'd be so tough. I have to believe that sitting on a nest of eggs is tough to begin with, but sitting on a nest of eggs in the snow, it's got to be even tougher. I don't know, maybe animals are just tougher than I am. They're built sturdier than I am. But man, she gets on that nest and she hunkers down, and she was there for a good, I want to say 6 hours today, just sitting on that nest, didn't get up and move, stayed right on them. I don't know. I mean, I almost want to drive down there so I can throw some food up to her, buy a fish and throw it up so she has something to eat or something. I don't know. You guys, I had a nice surprise this week. My brother died 2 years ago. His daughter found a drawing I'd sent him when he was in boot camp. I was 7 and 8. It was so great to see that what I'd done at that age. Wow, that's cool. And that he kept it. That's cool too. Right? Holy cow. He could have taken it and not really done anything with it, but he took the time to keep it too, which is cool. All right, let's see. I'm going to, into my middle tray here, I'm going to make some of my own gray here. See, a little ultramarine blue and a little burnt umber can make a nice gray, and I can make this as cool or as warm as I want to. And I want to get started on this little guy down here. This is still a little damp. This was pretty light when it went on. This is pretty dry. We've got part of his wing and his back over here. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come over here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put some yellow on over here. Well, we'll come back to that. Oops. And I want to put some color on this little baby guy over here. So let's just get some really light color on him. Or her, I guess. Him or her. I think we've talked about it before. It's funny. If you're a guy, all animals are men. If you're a woman, I would imagine all animals, when you by default talk about them, then they're probably, I would guess, don't know for certain, but I would guess then you label them all as female. I think it's kind of a funny thing we do. So I hope everybody has been having a wonderful week so far this week. My week has been, in some instances, very hectic. In some instances, not too bad. I certainly am not going to complain this week about anything. It's been nice for me. 35 years ago, you drew that. Wow. Oh, wait. Eliza, that's wonderful. I have a ceramic cup my son made me about 35 years ago. Wow. That's cool. That's cool. This is nothing of that length. I think I could go and grab it. One of the times my son and I were sitting down and doing some watercolor painting, and I have to imagine he was about 3. He painted something that I thought was really cool, and I kept it this whole time. Let me get this. While this is drying a little bit, let me get this. I'll show it to you. I think I know right where it is. So I had this hanging in my office for a long time, and people would come by and look at it, and they're like, what is that? What is that? So I'm not exactly sure what the top is, but I just thought that was pretty cool. Maybe it goes this way. I think I had it hanging up this way. It's got a couple of different colors. It doesn't look like anything, but it looks really cool, I think. And I love that he just didn't take all the colors and just run them all together and get just gray in there. He took his time. He did a little bit of red and did some blue in there, and then let it dry a little bit, and then came back with some brown on top. So I literally had this in my office for years and years and years, and now it's here in the studio, which I think is really cool. I really like that. It is cool. Thank you. It is. I would love to take credit for all of it, but, I can't because I didn't do it, because he did it. And he's probably, after this, going to say, why? No, somebody will tell him that I put it on this stream, and then he's going to go, why did you put that on there? You're just trying to embarrass me. No, I'm not trying to embarrass you. It was cool. That's one thing parents do, is we keep cool stuff that our kids do. Susie is here. Hi all. I have a snowman my son made in 6th grade, and a ceramic snowman my dad made when I was a kid. Wow. Dad used to have a Christmas train set, and the snowman were lined up all along the edge of the putts. Wow. We had a train set growing up, and my brother has absconded with it, but it was an old Lionel train set that my father got when he was 12, 13, something like that. So I can't even imagine how old that actual train set is. At this point, it's quite old, and my brother still sets it up every year around the Christmas tree. And it still works. The old Lionel train, man, I can't imagine them making anything like that nowadays. Anything that would last that long. But he's got the crossing guards for it. He's got the smoke, the puffer smoke still works. So you can push the button on the transformer and it will send out a little puff of smoke. I mean, it's old and it looks old. And he's had to have it repaired a few times, but man, it still works. Those Lionel trains were built to last. They were really built to last. Really. Okay, so, our little guy down here is drying a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of jump into defining some shapes. I'm just going to turn this a little bit as I do this. And I'm going to put a little color on, and I'm going to pull it out, give it a little bit of a gradient. Right? I guess I'm kind of defining the outside edge of this penguin also while I do this. I don't know, something like that. And the penguin himself, right, is pretty simple. Natalie says, Discord was busy this week. It was pretty busy this week. It was pretty busy. I apologize for all of the fish pictures in there. I got a little excited. I told you guys I'd taken up fishing, and then Dwayne was here. Was it Dwayne? Was here last week, and he got on Discord after our live stream last week, and his screen name there is Big Anglin' Fool, and I was like, wait a minute, I got to find out what that means. And as it turns out, he's a fisherman too, and so we traded some fish pictures, and I was lucky enough this past weekend to catch some pretty decent sized fish, and I was maybe a little over exuberant in posting those pictures, but I was really proud of my catch. So Tracy is here. Hello, Tracy. I'm glad you made it, and I just want you to know I followed your instructions. I put on the, what is it? The aerosolizer? The mister? What's it called? I don't know. I put some nice scent in it. So it smells lovely here in the studio right now. I put a nice mix of what I like. A little oh, now I've forgotten. A little tea, eucalyptus and spearmint. Holy cow, I've forgotten what it was. A little eucalyptus and spearmint. It makes it smell really nice in here. It's supposed to be a really relaxing scent. So, very much like that. I say that because Tracy is, see? Tracy does that on her streams too. That's, I saw you do that, and I was like, that's a great idea. It gets you in the mood, relax a little bit for what you got coming up. See, I like to borrow everybody's good ideas, try to work them into my own. Tracy had a great idea, so I had to appropriate it. Sorry about that, but it was a great idea. Oh, Tracy took a day off from work. I hope you did something fun for yourself on the day off you took. I hope. Sometimes those days off are fantastic. Sometimes they lead to a little bit more work when you get back to work, but sometimes those days off really can be nice. I just saw the message. Oh, brother, I know the book to buy. Wait a minute. Wait, what book? don't know what book I missed. I missed it. Well, that's okay. I'm just going to get back to adding little bits of color here and there. Where this needs to be a little bit darker, I'm going to add a little bit more color. The dark that I'm using here is not really black. I know that's probably not a surprise to everybody. You all know I'm not the biggest fan of just using black, though there are instances where it does make sense. So this is a mix of all of my neutrals. Neutral tint, of course, and Paynes Gray, and also if I want to warm that up a little bit, then there's going to be a little bit of sepia inside it. And between those colors, I think we'll get a nice mix of neutrals and get some interesting color on here. Much more interesting than just painting something black and hoping that it's going to look right. My stance has always been that black is such an overpowering color. Not that the color itself is all that, but it takes the light out of everything else. It's so dominant that maybe we don't want to use that in too many places. But I think if we mix our own color here and get it on there, then we're going to be okay with it. We'll be okay. All right. Let's see. The book is Pen and Ink Wash in the Garden. Oh, Pen and Ink Wash in the Garden. Oh, okay. It's on the Art Book YouTube channel. She reviews the art books. Okay, cool. Oh, that's cool. Do anything better than weekends and days off. Retirement. Oh, don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. I've got a few years until I can get to my retirement. Well, actually, that's not really true. I'm eligible to retire this year. But I'm not going to. I'm going to tough it out for another, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know, something like that. Retirement's one of those weird kind of things. You've got to gauge how much you're going to have in your retirement versus how much relaxation you want to have and where they all fit together. And I'm kind of starting to figure that I'm too young. I'm trying to figure all that stuff out now. Yeah, but see, don't you want to retire when you're a little young? You can enjoy it a little bit more. At least that's what everybody says. I don't know if it's really true. My husband is 69 and loves his job. Well, there you go. Sudika, I worked 45 years. I've earned the right to rub it in. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. This year I'll be 19 years at this current place. Not the current position, the current place. I'll be at 19 years there this year. That's a nice run. It's not nearly the longest of anybody who works there, but it's a good start. I've worked for, in reality, I worked for the state of California, right? I've worked for the state of California for 20, well, let's see. I got my first job working for the state of California in 2000. So I guess that makes the math kind of easy. I've been working for them for 25 years now. Even I can do that math. And with any luck, I'll make it till 30. years without too much trouble. If I can do that, I think I've done pretty well. All right, this little guy here, he seems to have a bit of a, I don't know, stripe is not the right word, but a bit of a line where there's a little bit of darker gray and there's a little bit of lighter gray. And I'm trying to fit some of that in here. And I think it goes something like that. I think that's a pretty good representation of the gray on him. We're going to get to his feet there. It would be so nice if my husband enjoyed his job. Oh, Natalie. Oy, oy, oy. Let's see. My husband wants to retire soon, but I need him to keep working until I can get Medicare. Should it still be around? Oy. Oy, oy, oy. Yes, Liza, that's why I'm always so grateful for extra days off. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Mine loves, Liza says, mine loves his too. He is in radio. Oh, man. He says he gets to play, not work. Ay. Let's see. He started in radio at age 3, doing a kid in commercials. So he's been at it 62 years. Wow. That's impressive. And actually pretty cool. I used to always say, when I had a different position at the university I work at, that I was always blessed because I just got to come in and play with other people's technology. It's changed a little bit now that I don't have that same position. But for a long time, it was true. You get to come in and play with all the cool technology. Somebody else is going to buy it and say, figure out how to use it. I was always like, yeah, I'm all over that. And if I ever needed it of my own, I know what's good or what's bad or whatnot. It was always so much fun. All right, I'm going around this guy's little head here. And I think when I get his head on here and I get this big penguin's head on here, I think you'll finally be able to see really what we're talking about. And I'm looking up here now. Over there is where I have my streaming software, and it looks to me a little different than it was before, and I think the reason is because I have this camera up a little bit higher so it doesn't get in front of my face. I had to move my face camera over here. I think if I move it down, you'll see a little bit more. I'm going to try something here. If you'll indulge me for a moment. Let's see. Hi, Sherry. Missed you popping in. Let's see. Let me just see if this is a little better. So if I come over here, let's see, that's going to have to go to the side a little bit. And come down. So you can see my cloth here. And then I come in. Does that make that look any better than before, or does that look about the same? I don't really know. It might just be. Seems a little bit washed out tonight. Okay, cool. I totally get that. Did that make it better? Did that make it any better or any worse? Usually I have this down even further. And then this will be, how do I do this? Oh, I can't go much further than that. All right, if I go any further than that, I'm going to be off the screen. So that might be what we get right now. Okay. Seems a little blurred. Really? Come on, in focus. That should be pretty much in focus. All right, well, you know what? Let's paint his head and let's see what it ends up looking like. All right, little bugs that I need to get worked out. We'll get them worked out. Promise. Somehow, we'll get these worked out. Now I gotta, look, my camera's right in my face now. I think that's why I had moved it all the way up. So I can do two things, right? I can zoom in digitally, or I can zoom in this way, and which is mechanically, because I just have this on a big, this is just on an arm that's hanging from my desk. So between those two, somehow, I think I've got to be able to fix that. We're going to get this guy's head painted in here, and we're going to be able to see him a lot better. The shape a lot better. All right, all right. It's coming in here. I'm going to warm this up a little bit. A little bit of sepia. Oh, I look at this, I'm like, oh my God, there's still a lot to do. There's so much to do. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. And I just realized, I think, has everything I've painted this month had black in it? I think it has. Had a lot of black. Maybe it's just because winter birds, not really any better. Okay. There is one thing I can do that will make this resolution better. But I cannot do it while I'm using the camera. So the thing I can do is, and I didn't really look at this, so before I say I can definitely do this, I have to look at it. But what I can do, I think, if that's blurry and not quite as nice as it was, is I can look at the input from this camera up there, and I can make sure that that's encoding, that that's uploading to my computer in 4K, because that is most definitely a 4K camera. It's quite an expensive camera. And if it is not encoding in 4K, then that can be changed, and the whole thing then, when it gets resampled and sent out to the internet world, should be slightly better than if it's encoded at 1080p, or certainly shouldn't be at 720, but I can see where it would be at 1080, so I can do that. The head is looking very good. The head is getting there, right? It's getting there. I'm gonna make sure, I want to make sure I've got this gentle, very gentle graduation here. The shape of the head is good. I like the shape of the head. We're going to work on everything else. Okay, so I'm going to remember that when I'm done here, when we're done tonight, I'm going to go back and look at the encoding of this. Jennifer is here. So, if you remember, Jennifer has her own YouTube channel, and she does a lot on Twitch too, and it's been a while. I happened to be at work and was... I think I was getting ready to go somewhere. I was prepping for a meeting or something, and I happened to see that she was online, and we have reconnected, and so that's a happy day for me anyways. And so she and I are going to try to do a stream together, and with any luck, you'll see me on part of the screen, and you'll see her on part of the screen, and we're going to try to paint the same scene. I'm going to do it in watercolors, and she's going to do it in a digital format, and it's going to be interesting. Let's just say it that way. It will be interesting. Let's see. Liza says the picture is so sweet. That picture over there is so sweet. You can see how much they love each other. I hope it's a parent and her baby. Yeah, penguins are really cool. I like the when I go up to the what's the zoo? Not the zoo. The Monterey Bay Aquarium. That's where I go to. I'm like, where is it that we go to? The Monterey Bay Aquarium. Oh, man, I could sit in front of the penguin exhibit and watch the penguins all day. They're so interesting. But then again, I'm so much of a bird person. I don't know why birds fascinate me, but they do. I could watch any bird for a long time. Dwayne is here. Welcome, Dwayne, back from the store and made it. You were listening to audio while you're driving. All right. That's some dedication right there. And then I'm going to have Dwayne on my fishing channel at some point in time. We're going to talk fish, maybe. I don't know. No, don't hold me to that. Jennifer says, you're glad I know tech because you have no idea. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. Jen, I'm streaming on Twitch right now. This is my test. And I don't really know if it's going all that well. It looks like it's going okay. But we'll find out. We'll find out later when I can do a deep dive. Dwayne says that would be cool. I do have a fishing channel, so don't be surprised if I hit you up. Okay, again, this is just a number of neutrals here, and I want to get some darker spots. You guys know how I do this. I like some darker spots and some lighter spots. I don't want them all to be the same. So I'm gonna drop in some color here and there, because those darker and lighter areas, you let them run together and meld together a little bit, and they're gonna start to look like there's something there. There's something underneath. It could be a muscle. It could be a ripple of something. Could be just the way the light comes off of it. I don't know what it is, but when you get those lighter and darker areas, it really ramps up the visual cues of whatever it is you're painting, right? Maybe I'll go in with just a little bit of black in here. Just a drop of this really black in there, and then let's pull that all the way out. How's she looking? I think pretty good. Jennifer, you're on YouTube, and it looks great. Okay. Jenner, you sent me some reference to my Instagram. I looked at them this morning. I got up this morning and I was behind schedule a little bit. I saw those this morning. I'm actually I actually like some of them. I'm gonna try to do a painting of some of them. Jen sent me a whole bunch of bird pictures, stuff from her farm. That she took pictures that she took on her farm around there. A lot of birds that we don't have here. She lives in Australia, a million miles away, and has some cool stuff living on and around her farm. So I was really stoked to see those. And if you have not done so, I'm gonna give you a plug here. If you haven't done so, and you're on Twitch, Jennifer's channel there, I don't have it above it. It's, well, on YouTube it's Jen's Wild About Art, and over there it's oh, I forget. Actually, let me go see if I can find it, and I'll put it in here. Or Jenna, if you want to, you can put a link to your channel here. I'm not even sure if you're able to. I think you should be able to. And quite honestly, Tracy, if you want to put yours on here too, feel free. If not, I'll go and grab those for you guys. My only trepidation is not going out and grabbing them. My only trepidation is if I take 3 minutes to go and look for it here, it might not be the best video experience. But I'm happy to do it. I should have a list all queued up and just pull it out. All right, I've got some arms on this guy now. Let's see, I'm going to put a shadow on this. I've got a shadow on that one. I'll put a shadow on this one all the way out to the end. You can see, there it is. I called it an arm. His flipper out there. Do we have anybody else in the crowd who has a YouTube channel? YouTube, it's Jennifer Newman Art. There you go. And let's see. I'm gonna find it while this is. All I have to do is move a couple of windows. All I have to do is move a whole bunch of windows and do some other things. Let's see. Here it is. Copy this one here for YouTube. Paste. I don't know if anybody else has the ability to paste a link in there. There it is. And Twitch is a little harder to get to because I've really got to change where I'm at over there. So I've got a whole list of people I follow, and Natalie, you have some stuff that you post, but it's pretty random crafty stuff. If you want to put it out there, and Dwayne, if you want to put yours out there, YouTube Big Anglin' Fool. All right, let's find. Let's give everybody a plug. I like that. So we're waiting for things to dry here anyways. Big Anglin'. If I could spell. I cannot. There he is. All right, here is paste. There's Dwayne's. Everybody follow that if you have any interest in fishing or just supporting somebody else who's a friend of the channel. And let me put Tracy's down here. I gotta, I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Copy. Here's Tracy's, paste. And Natalie, do you want me to try and find yours here? I'm happy to do that if you would like. I can give it a shot. Tracy, you're so welcome. Let's see if I can find Natalie. Is yours under your name? You put it in already. You did? I don't see it. Okay. I see you put in Jennifer's. Well, okay. I gotta go back. Oh, yeah. There's so much. I gotta go back. Okay. I need a moderator. I need somebody to moderate for me. I don't like to spend too much time doing that because it takes away from. It does take away from the painting. Okay, so let's take a look. I like the head, but the head is not dark enough. I like the dark over here. I think that looks better, and I do like the colors going up there. So I'm gonna mix up some more of this dark. And again, there's not anything special about this. It's Paynes Gray. It's neutral tint. And it's a little bit of sepia, right? The three neutrals that I use, and yeah, you could say maybe the sepia isn't really a neutral, and you'd probably be right, but it's not far from that, so I'm happy to lump it in with those colors. And I'm going to put a little drop of water in here, which will probably lighten some of these colors up. And I wonder on this painting if really the interest in the texture comes from the black or if it comes from something else, because you know I've got that yellow in there, and we're gonna do some more in here to differentiate his chin from his chest. But the black sets everything off so much that does this pop of black around the outside define the painting or assist in the rest of the painting? And I'm not really sure what the answer to that is. But I think part of the allure of penguins, and certainly painting the penguins, is that black makes such a pop on there that you're kind of drawn to it. And I'm glad I'm not doing a different penguin where there's even more black. Quite honestly, because I think that could really throw things off a little bit. You had too much black. Too much black is just too much. There we go. All right. And all of a sudden, I'm sure that head right now, especially with it being wet like that, really, really pops off the page, doesn't it? I'm sure it does. Just a few little bits more of color going back through here. Black is kind of the one area where you can, I don't know, you can not worry about it being opaque sometimes. You can put it on heavier if you want sometimes. All right, I'm going to kind of stop where I'm at right there. I'm going to let this bleed out. We're going to see what that ends up looking like. I think that's starting to look good. You think the camera is focusing better with more dark? It could be. Not necessarily on this camera. I haven't noticed it. But on other cameras I've used, if it's a white sheet, it's so hard to get anything into focus. So that could be. That totally could be. You might be right about that. I'm going to drop down a little brush size here. What's my next one down? What is this? Is a number 4 that I'm using. Let's see. I don't want to do too much on his head here. I think if we make his head a little darker, which it needs to be, to get the difference between, especially, whoop, if you look up there, I'll pull it up again, and you can see the difference of his, the dark of his head, even on this little penguin, the dark of his head and the gray in his body, there's such a big difference in the values that if we didn't do that, it would look funny. But we're going to do that, and it's going to look fantastic. Okay. I'm going to take that down like that. Maybe he's got like... I look at the reference photo, and I can't really tell on it what's back here behind his head. I'm just going to say maybe he's got a bit of a mullet going on here or something like that. Right? Maybe that's a weird shadow. It could be a, you know, went to a discount barber place and got a bad haircut or something. I don't know. But I do know that I'm not happy now. Now that I've got everything a little bit darker, I want to make some darker areas down at the bottom. Come on, I can have this a warmer, kind of a muddier brown down here. I imagine he's been walking around on some kind of dirty, muddy areas for a while. So we can get him a little bit of a darker color down here, and I'm going to blend that up and up and up. Every self-respecting penguin has a mullet. Why not, right? Why would you not? If you're a penguin and you're stuck, I'm thinking these penguins are all in Antarctica, this type of penguin. You're stuck down there. You know, maybe the times haven't gotten to you. They're stuck in, 1984. He's probably got I can totally see where he's got a mullet. I keep threatening my family that before I cut my hair, I'm going to cut it into a mullet, and then I'm going to do everything I can with them for about a week while I have a mullet so everybody can see it. I'm going to have family day all the time, every day. We're going to do a lot together, and they're going to have to live with a mullet for about a week or so before I cut it. Which prompted everybody to say, please don't cut your hair. Business in front, party in the back. There you go. Natalie, How many mullets have you seen in the past 10 years, 15 years? Because I have to ask, because around here, they've kind of gotten popular again. I've seen quite a few of them. I don't know what your normal crowd is like. And I realize that I deal kind of more with a lot of college kids, but Jennifer says Antarctica is, the Antarctic is very close to you, and mullets are still in. That's awesome. Sorry, it's mullet mania. Mullet mania, mullet mania. You're glad when they went out of style. When they went out of style. Come on. Weren't they fun? I know my mullet. I had a mullet back in the day. And my hair was about the same length it is now in the back. Of course, there was a business in the front. But yeah, I had a really nice mullet back in the day. It was fantastic. And yes, I do still have the pictures to prove it. Back in my high school days, running track, I wanted everybody behind me to see my hair flapping in the breeze. So of course I had the mullet. And then it was cool to have the long hair, right? You're on the basketball team, and it's cool to have the long hair. But if you got it short in the front, it doesn't get in your eyes or anything. It was awesome. Ish. The shag perm needs to come back. Oh, no. No. The perm does not. No. No perm needs to come back. No. All right, so I have to say, if you had if you had mullet on your watercolor bingo card tonight, go ahead and mark that down, and you're gonna win. Jennifer, you had an accidental mullet. Oh my God, my fringe bangs went horribly wrong with a home cut. Ay. Quail bangs were when the girls curled their bangs up high and sprayed the crap out of them so they bobbed like a quail. Like, oh my God, quail bangs. Jennifer, your football players have mullets. Our football players do too. Oh, quail bangs. I've never heard quail bangs before, but I get it. When you say it, I get it. Quail bangs, I like it. Holy cow. All right, I'm going to take our yellow color here. I'm going to mix a little bit of, what did I just put in there? Yellow ochre in there, right? And I want to give a little color underneath here. Right, just a bit underneath here. I want to start separating this bird's neck from the rest of its body. That didn't sound good. What I meant to say was I want to put a dividing line so we know where this bird's neck comes in and his chest is at. Just a little bit. Oh, I can see what you mean. That totally looks washed out to me. That looks terrible. Who set the whole thing up? That's bad. Oh, wait, that was me. I don't think I can do anything to make that better right now. I really don't think I can. Is anybody a specialist in OBS? Gonna help somebody out here? All right, I'm gonna get some really light blue here. I mean, like mostly water, and I'm gonna hope this is gonna work. If I do a blue background, an icy blue background, it'll help with the contrast. I think you're right, but you're forgetting I hate backgrounds. I thought about it. I'm not sure what kind of a background I want to put on here, if any. Wait, what color is this guy's beak? Is this beak black? Oh, his beak is mostly black too, isn't it? Boy. Why didn't I paint his beak before? I could have had his beak already on there. I'm going to get a little blue on here because, right, maybe there's some reflected light over here, a little shadow over here. I just want to have a little bit of blue, something to start to give a little bit of shape. I'm hoping to build in a little bit of shape on this guy. Oh, without touching that black. One of the things I don't like about black, the M-gram black, I should say, it will re-wet very easily. Let's see. CDK. I missed the 70s. Michael McDonald, Shaka Khan, Christopher Cross, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah. Yeah, Natalie says that was not the official name, just what we called them in the shop. I'm assuming you're talking about the Quail Bang, not Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you do a light blue background, okay, great idea. Let's see, me too. I'm not a background kind of gal. So here's a funny story for you. I took my youngest to a dance in town, right? We had to drive there, and then he was going to meet somebody, and we were waiting for, I don't even know what the person's name was. We were waiting for them to arrive, and so we were watching YouTube, and I don't know if I heard it on the radio or if I just wanted to hear the song or what exactly the deal was. But the Gap Band came on, and it was, She Dropped the Bomb on Me. And I was like, oh, you got to see the video for this. If I'm remembering it right, it's totally an early 80s video. And so we watched the video, which was a totally early 80s video. Lots of nonsensical stuff in it, and some random dancing, and generally, it was like a fun video. But that video stayed in my YouTube suggested stream, for literally about 8 months. I was like, I can't get rid of it. It will not, there's nothing I can do to get rid of this from my suggested stream in YouTube. So I think I ended up watching it or listening to it about, I don't know, a dozen times, which was great because I love the song. It's pretty fantastic. And it's the Gap Band. If anybody watched or listened to the Gap Band other than me, follow you, follow me. Holy cow. Was your wedding song. Wow. All right. I got a bit of a hard edge here that I would love to get rid of somehow. I don't know that I'm really going to get rid of it. I got to get my brush really clean. Going next to any of this black, I want to make sure this is really clean so that if it does touch it, I can get a clean lift of everything. All right, I like that dark color. I've got some areas that I really need to clean up here, but I think we're getting close. We're getting close to something good here. We're getting there. I'm going to put a little bit of color, a little bit more color. On this flipper, on this wing flipper. It's not a fish. It's a bird on the wing here. We're going to make this look really nice. As Borat would say, it's going to look very nice. Oh yes, very nice. I don't know why I just came out with a Borat reference. I don't think I've even thought of Borat in 10 years. Okay, how does that look? Does that look good? Somewhat good. Adult penguin heads look fabulous. I'm gonna have to assume you mean the one, the adult penguin head, and the one I painted looks fabulous. I have to make that assumption, whether it does or not. It's so weird looking at the page and then looking up there. They look somewhat different. Nice Borat impersonation. I nearly spit my coffee. Okay, let's see what is down below. Let's not have these guys kind of stand on nothing here, right? We'll get a little blue, and I'll put some neutral tint in that. I should probably be standing on something here. A little bit, if we get a little bit more of that blue in there, totally fine. We're going to paint those toenails on. Don't worry too much about that. Some lighter color going up. Oh, that's a mess. That's why I don't do backgrounds. My wife tells me, you guys have heard me say it, she goes, you got to put something on there. You can't have them floating in space. Yeah, I can. Sometimes she's right. Most of the time. It's all right. We're gonna put a big shadow over here anyway, so we're good with what we got. Okay. So a couple of things we got to do here yet. One is I want to get some really light neutral here. And I know, well, I've kind of screwed this up over here for a moment, but I know we've got some definite shadows on here. Right? I know we've got some definite shadows on here. So I'm going to attempt to do a little bit of this shadow work. y'all can tell me if I'm doing it right or wrong. Hopefully this is going to dry just a little lighter than it looks when I put it on. Something like that. Wow, it's so light. You guys almost can't see it. It really is kind of washed out. Okay, Natalie, I think you were right. Something didn't work right when I reset all this back up. So, I'm going to have to do it again. But I darkened this color up. I think you can see the shadow on there now. You should be able to see the shadow on there. Back there. I'll hold that up so you can see it in just a second. I need to have a bit of a shadow over here too. On this side of this guy. Right, and we can do something that's almost the color this guy, but just a little colder. And then we'll have to bring that in quite a bit. Not leaving that hard edge there. I think this can come all the way over and down here. Got it. Okay, I got his beak to paint. I've got the beak shadow. The beak shadow is perfect. Yes, I got something. Look. So you can see his shadow there. There's the beak shadow, kind of the head. His whole head in shadow there. We get a little bit more of this dark color. He's got some dark toes here. I'm making them probably a little darker than they need to be. That's all right. We can deal with that. I think I'm going to paint half of his beak, and I'm going to let it sit for a second. I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint the bottom half of his beak. And I want to get maybe just a little deeper shadow. A few places out here, and this whole guy is kind of in shadow here. So let's take this whole thing and extend it out. Get rid of that white. There we go. Now he's all in shadow. Let's give a little blue in there. To make that a little bit colder. All right. Is he standing? It's so different. And I can't turn this off to come back and do any work on the video image. But I promise you by next week that'll be taken care of. Sherry says, I was driving through the mountains today and was amazed at the thick frost where the clouds settle. The heavy frost was localized in random areas. It's quite a phenomenon. Wow. Jennifer says, you're making me want to watercolor again. This is why you enjoy my lives. Well, thank you. Sure, that would be interesting as long as the roads weren't slippery true. Yes. And Tracy says his lives are very inspiring. I love them. Also, thank you. You guys are so kind. That's one thing I really like about this group is everybody is so nice. Even when I paint something that is maybe a little less than stellar, you're always so nice about it. That's okay. Look, it's cool. Seriously, I appreciate it. It's it's sometimes hard to come out and do a live painting, and it's sometimes hard to do it knowing that this is, for a lot of the things, this is the first time I'm ever going to paint it, and this might be the last time I'm ever going to paint it. And I think in general I have enough knowledge of watercolor painting to be able to do a pretty good job with it. But you guys are always so nice, even when maybe I don't do quite as good a job as I would hope that I would do. To just say, to say, hey, the stream is fun and entertaining, which I hope it is, and it's I hope that you see it as a positive place to come back to time and time again. I should do I'm going to start talking to you guys about the stuff I do at my work to keep positivity and morale up, and to keep everybody involved in understanding what the direction is and the why we do things a certain way and whatnot. I've been told, it's not really for me to say, but I've been told it's pretty inspiring to see how I work and to see how my team works together. We get a lot done, sometimes with not a lot of resources, and it makes me so proud that my team functions like that. And I say that knowing that none of them are even watching this stream. None of them even are watching. All right, I don't think this guy's quite fluffy. Like, where'd he go? Like that guy is. I'll show you I'll put up the original. But I think he's got a look to him. I wish I could get my black to come out better. Let me see if I do a little straight black on this. I do just a little straight black in a couple of places. Does that set it off or not? I don't know. I'll tell you what I do want to do. I have a reference photo over there, larger. I do want to give just a little indication of an eye there, even if you can't really see it. Let's see. Natalie, you think I'm brave and talented to paint and chat live? Probably Probably more brave than talented, but thank you. That's why sometimes I really have to stop. You don't hear me say anything for a minute at a time. I really have to stop because sometimes I really do have to stop and say, what am I doing? Is that dry enough? I don't know. Maybe a little bit of... This should gray down a little bit. A little bit of blue, maybe a little bit of that orange. Maybe a little bit more blue. I want to be able to get some sort of a... Not a real shadow over here, just a darkening. A lack of light is really what I'm looking for over there. A lack of light. I think that's better. I think that's better. Is that better? That is better. That is much better. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do some down here too. Let me pull this around because there's, you know, it's darker under here. There's a shadowy area over here. There's a young one in front of him, and he's kind of, I don't know what, pear-shaped? No, not pear. What's this shape? Something. So it's a little darker down here than it should be up here. Oh, this is much better. Much better as I'm playing around with color down here and adding on and taking away a little bit. That's much better. All right. Now the only thing that's bothering me are these few white spots here and there that I don't really like. And that's a personal preference. I understand that. This is just a little black eye, right? Oh, I have to give you all a chicken update. Sherry says, you love the shadows. So that's probably the first time you've said that to me because I feel like I'm so terrible at shadows. But I do have to give you a chicken update. I had the biggest scare yesterday. I don't know what has caused this. I don't know why it started or anything like that. But yesterday I went to put my chickens to bed, right? And you all know I love my chickens. I went to put my chickens to bed, and what that entails basically is going and taking their food out of the coop and closing the door, and then typically I'll open the top of the hen house up and, you know, say goodnight to them, and everything's good, right? It's all well and good. So yesterday I went to put them to bed. I took their food out. Then I went in and got their water dish because their water was a little low, and I wanted to make sure that I refilled their water at night when I was thinking about it and didn't wait until the morning when I could have forgotten. And I went to fill it up, and I heard a noise behind me. And I was like, whoa, there shouldn't be anything in my backyard. What is behind me? I don't like hearing strange noises behind me. And I turned around, and Dahlia was on the table on the side of the house. And I'm like, why are you out here? This makes no sense to me. I picked her up, I took her, and I put her in the hen house. I opened up the hen house and put her in the hen house. And I counted the chickens, and with her, there were only 3. And I went, oh no, what is going on? Blueberry is not here. Where is Blueberry? And I got my flashlight and looked through the whole backyard. Blueberry nowhere to be seen. Oh, great. I've lost a chicken. How did I lose a chicken, and where did it go to? Looked in the side yard, couldn't find her. I'm like, oh, great. I cannot lose a chicken. This is going to break my heart to lose one of my chickens. So I quickly called my wife, and I'm like, hey, you got to come out and help me find Blueberry. I don't have any idea where she's at. She's not in the backyard. She's not in the side yard. I don't have any idea. Well, so our driveway goes like this. Our side yard is the same width, but next to it. And we have a gate here. And then I put some chicken wire in front of the gate and across, because there's so many plants here. You can't walk there. You can't get through. So we just didn't make a fence go all the way across. Well, Blueberry had gotten through all of the weeds and shrubberies and everything else that's growing there and gotten in front of the gate so I couldn't see her, and was hunkered down in a little hole. And I'm like, I don't have any idea how you got there. So my youngest is trying to reach through the chicken wire and reach to her, and finally poked her and prodded her enough that she got up. And mind you, this is 8 o'clock at night, and she should have been asleep for 2 hours. So she finally got up and wandered back towards me. I'm standing on the other side, and I picked her up and put her away. And I'm like going, I don't know what has happened. And then tonight, I went to put the chickens away, went to put them to bed, opened up, looked in there. There's 3 chickens in there. I'm like, oh, Blueberry, where are you at? I started looking around the yard. Blueberry's up on a shelf in the backyard, right next to the house. I'm like, why are you up here? What has happened that you guys don't want to get into the chicken coop all of a sudden? I have no idea. But it's so, I mean, it's a happy ending, right? Because we got all the chickens. They're all fine. There's nothing going on with them. But so distressing that all of a sudden I can't find my chickens. I'm like having a heart attack going, where are my girls at? I don't know where they're at. I know, it's just me. Blueberry needs a bell. What Blueberry needs is a whole team to follow her around and keep her out of trouble. That's exactly what Blueberry needs. She's so crazy. I mean, she's fantastic. I love her to death. And when I get home, I know animals have, in many senses, better sense than we have. But I'll come home, close the garden, teenagers. I'll close the cart door, walk to the back of the house where the bedroom is, and she will obviously hear me and come running up to the back window and sit there and look at me. And she'll peck at the window and look at me, wait for me to open the door and say hello to her. She's so hysterical. Natalie, you might be right. It's teenagers. Jennifer, Blueberry security. Eliza, you're crazy about squirrels, so you get how I worry about my chickens. Oh yeah. If anything happened to them, I'd be bawling my eyes out. I told you guys, they're not chickens. They're part of the family. Okay, I'm gonna sign this. And I'm gonna do a little review. And this is what it's gonna be like. This is black. This is dark. In some instances, this looks good. But to me, it's weird. I don't know. It's like too black. You know what I'm going to do? I just looked and saw this. I'm going to put on a line just underneath there so we know exactly where these two separate. And I'm going to make a vow that if I don't have to use black again for a long time, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I didn't realize. I don't know. To me, right? If I pick this up and let you see it, can you see how it's fine? It's totally fine, but it's a little weird. And I don't feel especially when I put it down, I don't feel as though I can do any, and maybe you don't have to do it on black, but I can't put any dimension on this beak. I can't really get any dimension on the head. Maybe that's me thinking I needed to go darker than I needed to, because in reality, I like the way this looks over here. This isn't black at all. This is a gray, and in right here, it's pretty light gray. But I like the roundness that we kind of get here, and the gradient, and the black back here really helps this wing stand out. So I really like that. And although this is black, and this really reflects, you know, that image more, I like it less. It's a weird, I don't know. Eliza, you think it looks good. I don't know, it's weird to me. The little guy down here, I kind of like the way he looks. I think those wings look great, right? I got some nice dimensionality on his wings, a little shading underneath, right? You can totally tell that this this wing comes on top here, and that one's back behind, right? It helps to give a little dimension. I don't know if I got the roundness on him, but he does have, the reference photo does have like this darker area here. I don't hate him. I just think I could have done better. He doesn't look fluffy to me. I think that's the issue. Doesn't quite look fluffy enough to me. But down here on the adult penguin, I do like the shading down here. It's subtle. It's darker for me looking at this than probably you're seeing on the screen. But I really like this down here. I like underneath the chin. I do like the shadow here. Makes it look nice. And I love that pop of orange. That pop of orange on all those penguins really looks so nice. So, and it looks like I just put a big scuff of black right on there, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to get off. That's too bad. One more layer on the baby and I'll have some fluff. It could be. You could be right. One more layer. Whoops, that's a lot. I could get some fluff on there. If he was a dragon, would he be named Fluff the Magic Dragon? Maybe. I mean, he already lives by the sea, right? Fluff the Magic Dragon. No? No? Not funny? One of these times. Fluff the... Isn't that like the Mamas and the Papas or somebody like that sing? Liza, thank you. Thank you for indulging me, Liza. With my Fluff the Magic Dragon. One more layer and he'll be fluffier. Really, if I kind of put this on in this kind of mottled pattern, it'd probably start to look fluffier, more fluffier. Why can I not pull that right off the corner? I'm dating myself. Here's a dating myself. My kids asked me the other day, I heard somebody say the term 45. What's a 45? I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I know totally what a 45 is. And it was quickly followed by, I think they said a 33 too. Does that mean anything to you? Like, yes. Everybody knows what a 45 and a 33 are. 33 and third. Actually, this is the speeds that everybody's record player went to. And you're like, record player? Not sure I understand. To which I probably said something like, shouldn't you go back to your room and do homework? Why are you mocking the aged? Doesn't seem very nice. All right. Lazzy, you might be right. I'm not sure he looks fluffier, but I think he looks better. I think he looks a little bit more planted. I actually like him with that little extra color on there. I think it looks better with that little extra color on there. All right, we had like 16 record players in my house. Holy cow. Oh, no. Peter, Paul, and Mary passed away. Oh, man. That's too bad. Happens to the best of them, though, right? Fluff the magic dragon. Fluff the baby penguin. Lived in Antarctica. I don't know. Doesn't quite flow. I'll have to work on that. Okay. You can pet him. Okay, I think he does look better. He's got a little bit more color on him now. He comes to life a little bit more. He definitely pulls him in front a bit more. And I'm definitely going to stop there and not do any more, because at this point it would just be fiddling, and I don't know how to fiddle, and I don't want to get on my roof, and I don't want to start singing any songs from that musical. So that's where I'm going to end tonight. I will put up the next challenge in Discord. That's it. Oh my gosh, Tracy, you have 2 record players now. You love vinyl records. Do they sound better? People tell me they sound better. The music sounds better. What was I going to say? I'll have the new challenge in, so we're moving into February. I've got to think of something February-ish to do. I'll have that in Discord by the end of the week. Next Wednesday, I hope you all can join me right back again here, where we'll do it all again. Jennifer, expect to hear from me. I'm going to be trying some things out. Maybe we can touch base over the weekend and see if we can get something going. I hope that you all have a great rest of your night. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I hope you're able to join me back here again next Wednesday when we do this all over again with another image. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.